All right, so we're going to take that same concept and apply it. We're going to keep the same key, and we're going to take sort of more of a major approach. And, you know, we're jamming on an A7 chord. It's dominant. So, and the cool thing, the thing that makes it bluesy is that it goes both ways. It goes major, it goes minor, okay? So, and this sort of kind of classic B.B. King stuff, we're definitely going to get into how to just like rip this thing apart. But, you know, in order to get to that level, you want to be able to make music and really know where you are in the phrase. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that can flap their fingers all over the place, but if you don't know where one is, you don't know where your root is, it's really just kind of saying nothing. So let me talk a little bit about, so before we were on the root with our third finger, now we're going to come to it with our first finger. So we're staying in A, and it's actually a really similar box, 5-note box. Okay. But everything, all the rules sort of change about which notes you can bend and which notes you can't. So the root is still not bendable. Don't mess with that thing. Okay, you can inflect it, you can slide into it. And the same thing with the note below that. You just kind of use that note to step into it. But this one you can do with a half-step, whole-step thing. Okay, and that's definitely an ear thing to be able to feel between where those are. And I'm kind of floating in between both of them. Okay, and then then the next note is this guy. This is really just a passing tone. You don't want to hang out there. So I'm always coming back to the root, but you know, there's certain notes you want to sit on and certain ones you don't. And there's kind of, if you know some of these basic rules about it, you can really get to making good music. Okay, and then the last one, this note, which is an E, it's the fifth. You can bend it a whole step, or you can bend it a minor third, which is a step and a half. So that's going all the way from, so your options here are whole step and minor third. Now, not all guitars you're going to be able to do that on. Kind of, a lot of guitars will fret out at that point, so it may be your fault or it may be your fault if you're not making it. Okay, so oh, there you go, broken string. All right, so I'm going to show you with a new guitar with my 335 baby. This is a 72 335, one of my favorite things, and going to show you again this sort of major version, major box. Right, so it ends up sounding pretty B.B. King-ish, but it's a really great place to start and kind of take yourself back even. You know, if you've already sorted that stuff out, maybe you didn't realize that, oh, it's all about the root and like which notes that you can bend. So that's just a really great thing to explore. And what I'm going to show you too is that you can kind of float in between those two things and get this sort of Clapton-y, Hendrixy, B.B. King sort of vibe. Just by floating back and forth and following these rules. Again, trying to be aware of the root and the one and where all that stuff happens. So. Yeah, so I was kind of exploring just these little two-note patterns. Right? And it's just, again, we just have these little 5-note boxes. So once you get kind of comfortable playing the roots, then you can start to explore some of the little things that you can do around that. And so there's also scales. Obviously, we haven't even talked about that, but let me show you a little bit about that. So I'm sort of expanding. So it's like now I've got 6 notes in each position. So here's the minor version, and then the major version. And I'm picking everything, or you can use legato. Right? So don't try to move too fast because we want to keep things in time still. So I might do something like that with a metronome and work on it with quarter notes, eighth notes, triplets, and just kind of work it slowly. So you get to a point where you're warmed up and you feel like you can go. But again, this is sort of like the frosting on top. You want to be able to find that root, you want to know where you're at, and be able to play hop between major and minor.